Sounds like conspiracy theory, like paranoia, like something that couldn't possibly be true. You're wrong. This is reality. This is happening right now. And I need to tell you about it. If you're ready to hear the truth about how much you're being watched, drop a comment and say, I'm listening. Let me start with something simple, something you can test yourself. Tonight, when you're with your phone nearby, have a conversation about something specific. Something you've never searched for online. Pick a random product. Let's say a specific brand of fishing rod, or a particular type of garden tool. Something unusual that you have no reason to search for. Talk about it out loud, have a conversation about it for a few minutes while your phone is in the room, and then tomorrow, watch what happens. Open Facebook, open Instagram, open any website with ads. And I promise you, within 24 hours, you'll start seeing ads for that exact thing, that fishing rod, that garden tool, whatever you talked about. And you'll think, wait, how did they know? I never searched for that. I never typed that into my phone. How could they possibly know I was talking about it? Because your phone was listening the whole time, recording your conversation, analyzing your words, sending that data to advertising companies, and now they know you're interested in fishing rods. So they're going to show you ads for fishing rods. It's that simple and that terrifying. You don't believe me? Try it. I dare you. Because once you see it happen, once you watch ads appear for something you only spoke about but never searched for, you can't unsee it. You can't pretend it's not happening anymore. You'll know you're being listened to constantly. And it's not just your phone, it's your smart TV, your smart speaker, your laptop, any device with a microphone. They're all listening all the time. Even when you think they're off, even when you think they're not active, they're listening, recording, sending data. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why would they do that? Why would companies want to listen to my conversations? I'm not that interesting. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just a regular person living my life. Why would anyone care about listening to me? And that's exactly what they want you to think. That's how they get away with it. Because if you don't think you're interesting, if you don't think you have anything to hide, you don't protect yourself, you don't care, you just accept it. But here's what you need to understand. It's not about whether you're interesting. It's not about whether you're doing anything wrong. It's about data. It's about building a profile of you, understanding your habits, your interests, your routines, your relationships, because that data is valuable, incredibly valuable. Companies will pay millions, billions of dollars for data about people like you. Think about what your phone knows about you. It knows where you live, where you work, where you shop, where you go on weekends. It knows who you call, who you text, who you email. It knows what websites you visit, what videos you watch, what products you look at online. It knows your medical conditions because you've searched for symptoms. It knows your financial situation because you've checked your bank account. It knows your political views because of what news you read. It knows your fears because of what you worry about late at night when you can't sleep. Your phone knows more about you than your own family knows about you. More than your closest friends, more than anyone. It knows everything because you carry it with you everywhere. You tell it everything. You show it everything. And it's recording all of it, building a complete profile of who you are. And it's not just your phone. Every time you walk into a store, there are cameras. Not just security cameras, smart cameras. Cameras with facial recognition. They scan your face. They identify you. They track where you go in the store, what you look at, what you pick up, what you put back, how long you spend in each aisle. They're building data about your shopping habits, your preferences, your behavior. Every time you use a credit card, that data is recorded. What you bought, where you bought it, when you bought it, how much you spent, and that data is sold, shared, analyzed. Companies are building a picture of your spending habits, your lifestyle, your financial situation. Every time you search for something online, that search is recorded. Google knows every question you've ever asked, every concern you've had, every problem you've tried to solve, every embarrassing thing you've wondered about at 3 a.m. They keep all of it, forever, building a complete record of your thoughts, your interests, your concerns. Every website you visit, there are trackers, Little pieces of code that follow you around the internet. They see what sites you visit, what articles you read, how long you spend on each page, what you click on, and they use that data to build a profile of your interests, your beliefs, your behavior online. You think you're browsing privately? You think incognito mode protects you? It doesn't. Not really. Your internet provider still sees everything. The websites still track you. Your data is still being collected, analyzed, sold. Let me tell you something I know, because I build technology, because I'm on the inside, because I see how this actually works. The level of surveillance, the amount of data collection, the depth of tracking that's happening right now, it would shock you. It would terrify you. Most people have no idea, no concept of how much they're being watched. I was in a meeting recently with people who run data companies most people have never heard of, and they were showing me what they can do. They pulled up a random person's profile, someone they'd never met, and within seconds, they could tell me where this person lived, where they worked, what car they drove, what their daily routine was, who their friends were, what their political beliefs were, what health issues they had, what they were worried about, what they were shopping for, what their marriage was like based on their search history and their shopping patterns. They knew everything about this person. Everything. And this person had no idea, had never consented to this, had no way to opt out. Their data was just being collected, analyzed, sold, and used without their knowledge or permission. That's what's happening to you, right now, every day. Companies you've never heard of are building detailed profiles about you, knowing things about you that feel invasive, personal, private, but they don't care, because data is money, and your data is valuable. Now let me tell you why this matters, why you should care. Even if you're not doing anything wrong, even if you have nothing to hide, this still matters. This is still dangerous. Because this data can be used against you. Insurance companies can use your data to deny you coverage or raise your rates. They can see that you've been searching for certain health symptoms, that you've been buying certain medications, and they can use that to classify you as high risk, even if you haven't been diagnosed with anything, even if you're perfectly healthy. Your searches, your data, can be used to make decisions about your coverage. Employers can use your data to decide whether to hire you. They can see your social media, your search history, your online activity, and they can make judgments about you based on that data. Maybe you search for information about a health condition, maybe you visited certain websites, maybe you express certain political views, and they can decide you're not a good fit. They won't tell you that's why, but that's why. Banks can use your data to make decisions about loans. They can see your spending patterns, where you shop, what you buy, and they can use that to determine your creditworthiness. Even if you pay all your bills on time, even if your credit score is good, your behavior as tracked through your data can be used against you. Scammers can use your data to target you. They know your age, your location, your interests, your fears, and they can craft scams specifically designed to trick you. Because they know what you care about, what you're worried about, what would make you act without thinking. Your data makes you vulnerable to being manipulated. And here's the scariest part. All of this data, all of this information about you, it exists forever. It's stored on servers somewhere. And you can't delete it, you can't take it back, you can't control who has access to it. Once it's collected, it's out there, forever. Think about that. Every search you've ever made, every website you've ever visited, every conversation your phone has ever heard, every place you've ever been with your phone in your pocket, all of that data exists somewhere, permanently, and you have no control over it. Now, I want to be very clear about something. I'm not trying to scare you just to scare you. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not paranoid. I'm someone who builds technology, who understands how these systems work, who sees the data collection from the inside. And I'm telling you, this is real. This is happening. And most people have no idea how extensive it is. You might be thinking, but I agreed to this, right? When I accepted those terms and conditions, when I clicked I agree on those privacy policies. Let me tell you about those terms and conditions. Those privacy policies that nobody reads. They're deliberately written to be long and complicated and boring, because they don't want you to read them. They don't want you to understand what you're agreeing to. Because if you actually read them, if you actually understood what you were giving permission for, you'd never agree. Those policies give companies the right to collect almost anything about you, to share it with almost anyone, to use it for almost any purpose. And they're written in legal language that's designed to hide that fact, to make it sound reasonable, to make it sound like they're just collecting basic information to improve your experience. But that's not what they're doing. They're collecting everything and using it for everything. And even if you don't agree, even if you try to opt out, it doesn't matter, because the data collection happens anyway. Your phone carrier collects data about you. Your internet provider collects data about you. Websites track you even if you don't have an account. Companies buy data about you from other companies. You can't opt out of all of it. You can't escape it. It's happening whether you consent or not. Let me give you some specific examples, real examples. So you understand this isn't theoretical. This is happening right now. Facebook doesn't just track what you do on Facebook, they track you across the entire internet. Every website that has a Facebook like button, that's tracking you. Even if you don't click it, even if you're not logged into Facebook, they see that you visited that site and they add it to your profile. Google reads your emails. If you use Gmail, Google scans every email you send and receive. They analyze the content, they extract information, they use it to build their profile of you. They say it's for showing you better ads, but they're reading your private correspondence, every word, every message. Amazon tracks everything you look at on their website, not just what you buy, everything you look at, every product page you visit, how long you looked at it, whether you added it to your cart, whether you compared prices. They track all of it, and they use it to understand your shopping behavior, your interests, your price sensitivity. Your smart TV watches you. Literally. If you have a smart TV with a camera, it can watch you. Some models have been caught recording what people are watching, recording conversations in the room, sending that data back to the manufacturer. Even when you thought the camera was off, your car tracks you. If you have a newer car, especially one with GPS or internet connectivity, it's tracking where you go, how fast you drive, how hard you brake, and that data is being collected. Some insurance companies want access to that data. Some car manufacturers are already selling it. Apps on your phone request permissions they don't need. That flashlight app doesn't need access to your contacts. That game doesn't need access to your microphone, but they ask for it anyway. And most people just click allow without thinking about it. And then those apps collect data they have no reason to collect and sell it to data brokers. Data brokers. Companies most people have never heard of. They exist solely to collect data about people and sell it. They buy data from hundreds of sources, combine it all together, and create incredibly detailed profiles about individuals. Then they sell those profiles to anyone who will pay. Insurance companies, employers, marketers, scammers, anyone. And here's what really gets me. What really bothers me about all of this. People your age, people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, you're the most vulnerable to this. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you didn't grow up with this technology. You don't have the instincts that younger people have developed. You don't automatically think about privacy and data collection. You trust more easily. You're more likely to click on things, more likely to give permissions, more likely to share information, and that makes you a target. Scammers know this. Data collectors know this. They specifically target older people because you're more vulnerable, because you're more trusting, because you're less likely to understand how these systems work, and they exploit that. They take advantage of that. And it's wrong, it's predatory, but it's happening. So what do? How do you protect yourself? Because I'm not just telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you so you can do something about it. First, understand that your phone is always listening. So be careful what you say around it. If you're having a private conversation, put your phone in another room. Turn it off if you need to. Don't assume anything you say near your phone is private. Second, be very careful about what permissions you give to apps. When an app asks for access to your camera, your microphone, your contacts, your location, ask yourself, does this app actually need this? A weather app doesn't need access to your contacts. A game doesn't need access to your microphone. Only give permissions that make sense. Third, read before you click. I know those terms and conditions are long and boring, but at least skim them. Look for words like share, third parties, partners. Those are red flags. They mean your data is being shared with other companies. Fourth, use privacy settings. Go into your phone settings. Go into your app settings. Turn off as much tracking as you can. Turn off location services when you don't need them. Turn off ad personalization. It won't stop everything, but it will help. Fifth, be skeptical. If something feels invasive, it probably is. If an app is asking for information that seems unnecessary, don't give it. If a website wants too much personal information, don't provide it. Trust your instincts. Sixth, cover your cameras. Put tape or a cover over your laptop camera, over your smart TV camera. It sounds paranoid, but it's not. Those cameras can be accessed remotely. Better safe than sorry. Seventh, be careful what you search for. Remember, every search is being recorded. Every website you visit is being tracked. If you're researching something sensitive, a health condition, a legal issue, anything personal, understand that search is now part of your permanent record. Eighth, talk to your family about this. Make sure your spouse knows, your children, your grandchildren, because they're being watched too, and they might not realize it. They might not understand the implications. Share this information, help them protect themselves. I'm telling you all of this because I care, because I see what's happening, because I understand the technology, and because I think people deserve to know. You deserve to know that you're being watched, that your data is being collected, that your privacy is being invaded. You deserve to know so you can make informed decisions about how you use technology. This isn't going to stop. This is only going to get worse. Companies are going to collect more data, develop more sophisticated tracking, find new ways to monitor people, unless we push back, unless we demand privacy, unless we make it clear that this isn't acceptable. But you can't push back if you don't know it's happening. You can't protect yourself if you don't understand the threat. That's why I'm telling you this. That's why I'm breaking it down in simple terms, because you need to know. Everyone needs to know. You're being watched constantly. Your phone is listening. Cameras are tracking you. Companies